Hi, good morning. This is Kavita Kundra and welcome to Ignou Physiology, and we are covering the chapter Cardiovascular System, the next part. So let's start. The cardiovascular system consists of heart, blood vessel, control of heart through nerves, and control of blood vessel through nerves, because we know the nervous system is the one who controls everything. So main parts are what we study: heart, blood vessels, how nerves control the heart, and how nerves control the blood vessels. Okay, first one is heart. What is heart? Heart has how many chambers? 4 chambers. One is right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle. And how this route works, carrying blood? The right atrium receives the blood from the body through two large veins. One is superior vena cava, जो कहाँ से लाएगा blood? अपर बॉडी से. इंफीरियर वेना केवा, जो कहाँ से लाएगा ब्लड? लोअर बॉडी से. ब्लड आएगा कहाँ आएगा? रिसीव्स द ब्लड फ्रॉम द बॉडी थ्रू राइट एट्रियम and it empties the blood to another chamber, that is right ventricle. This right ventricle pumps deoxygenated blood to lungs through pulmonary artery. तो ये जो right ventricle है ये lungs को दे देगा blood, क्योंकि ये बॉडी से आया है, ये डीऑक्सीजनेटेड है, इम्प्योर ब्लड है, तो लंग्स क्या करेगा? उसको प्योर करेगा. और ये लंग्स में किसके थ्रू जाएगा? पल्मोनरी आर्टरी के थ्रू जाएगा. राइट वेंट्रिकल पंप्स ब्लड इनटू pulmonary trunk and divides it into right and left pulmonary arteries. A semilunar valve called pulmonary valve that prevent backflow of the blood. तो हमेशा एक valve हमेशा रहेगा बॉडी में, पार्ट्स में, हार्ट के पार्ट्स में, ताकि backflow of blood ना हो पाए. Blood from the pulmonary trunk enters the pulmonary circulation and receives oxygen from lung as highlighted. The oxygenated blood flows pulmonary veins to left atrium. From left atrium, the oxygenated blood enters the left ventricle, and left ventricle is main pumping chamber and sends blood to all body parts through aorta except lungs. The tricusp valve is situated at the junction of right atrium and right ventricle that prevent black flow of the blood from right ventricle to right atrium. Bicuspid valve at the junction of left atrium and left ventricle. And how will you actually learn it? Banwari Lal Tota Ram. Now, the circulation of heart, left ventricle to aorta. Aorta supply blood rich in oxygen and nutrients to entire body. The aorta has branches. aorta की जो branches हैं उन्हें हम कहते हैं arteries, और उनको कहा जाता है systematic arteries. As systematic arterial work is more extensive, so it has to pump blood at much higher pressure. That's only possible due to thick wall of left ventricle. Blood vessels. In blood vessels we have aorta, arteries, arterioles and capillaries. Aorta, it supplies oxygenated blood. Second one, its elastic tissue absorbs shock of blood. Arterioles, resistance vessel. When diameter is reduced, the blood flow with great resistance. These are the healthy blood supply to the vital organs of body, brain and heart during exercise, decreasing blood supply to intestines. That's the reason we should not exercise after meals, because of decreased blood supply to intestine. Continuous blood flow is essential for exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide, food and water across capillaries. The capillaries are without muscular coats. They are also called exchange vessels. Veins are thin, they are flexible, they store blood. They are called capacitance vessels. The veins of the calf muscle is called peripheral heart, as they store blood and pumped back by muscle action during running heart. Control of our heart through nerves. The nerves are divided into two systems. One is sympathetic system, one is parasympathetic system. Sympathetic क्या है? Sympathetic sympathizes during fight, flight, fright. Fight जब हो गया या flight हो गया या fright and डर हो गया. Increasing heartbeat in the dark is called positive chronotropic effect. Heart also beats with increased force when heart pouncing against a heaving chest and after sprint. It is called positive inotropic effect. Calcium always makes heart stronger. A flame is ignited in the heart, which is then traveled to cardiac muscle. When the rate of transmission increases during sympathetic situation, it is called positive dromotropic, and when there is increase in excitability, it is termed as positive bathmotropic. Parasympathetic system. It relaxes heart, it decreases heart rate, the force of contraction, the conduction rate and excitability of tissues. The nerves that supply heart atria are termed as vagi or vagus. Sympathetic nerves releases noradrenaline and parasympathetic nerves release acetylcholine. Control of blood vessels through nerves. The sympathetic system supplying blood vessels constrict the lumen and redistribute the blood flow to regions of the body. Parasympathetic nerves usually do not supply blood vessels. The exceptional blood vessels receiving parasympathetic innervations are those of salivary gland, pancreas and genital organs. When these nerves stimulates, it increases the luminal diameter, it increases the salivary and pancreatic secretion and erection of penis. Neurotransmitter of sympathetic nerves is noradrenaline. There exists specialized sympathetic nerve called sympathetic cholinergic. What is the heart made up of? Heart is made up of tissues and fibers. Heart has well-developed pacemaker tissues. It generates rhythmic impulse. Rhythmic means it's musical impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4. Heart and tissues, the sinoatrial node, atrioventricle node, atrioventricle bundle of His, pacemaker and conduction tissues made up of modified cardiac muscle. Pacemaker of heart is SA node. That means sinoatrial node, a section of nodal tissue situated in right atrium near the opening of superior vena cava. Electrical impulse generates from here. It sets the rate of contraction of heart and generate nerve impulse that travel through the heart wall causing atria to contract. Other pacemaker tissue is atrioventricle node. It lies between atrium, ventricle situated on right side of intraatrial septum near the opening of coronal sinuses. The AV node controls the transmission of atria to ventricle. Its functions are to delay the cardiac impulse from sinoatrial node to allow to contract an empty content. AV node is bulbous and give rise to bundle of conduction tissue called bundle of His. It is the bundle of heart tissue that transmit electrical impulse. Main AV bundle divides into two bundle branches to respective ventricles. The bundle of His divides into Purkinje fibers. They enter the ventricle. They are actually modified strands of cardiac muscle. They spread the muscle in specific sequence to help the heart contract, relax at the right time. The fiber permit very rapidly and simultaneous distribution of impulse. The cardiac impulse originate in SA node. After atria, impulse reaches to AV node that has slow conducting fibers, and due to that, impulse get delayed by 0.1 second at AV node, after which it spreads rapidly. Cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle is involuntary. Each fiber is 100 micron long and about 15 micron wide. At junction between two adjacent fiber are specialized areas called intercalated disc having low electrical resistance. They are separate fiber but act as one unit. The uniqueness of our heart, properties of beating heart, automaticity. The capacity of heart to contract even in the absence of neural control is called automaticity. Rhythmicity, it is the conferred on heart by conduction system of heart. SA node discharges impulse the fastest rate and it determines the pace of heart. If SA node falls, then AV node will take over. Then long refractory period. Refractory period is the period during which a stimulus fails to evoke a response. In a beating heart, if the external stimulus is applied during contraction, there is no response irrespective of how strong the stimulus. The cardiac muscle is refractory period. The cause is that duration of action potential is almost as long mechanical activity. Extrasystole and compensatory pause. During the relaxation period, cardiac muscle sleeps. If sufficiently strong electrical stimulus is applied, it leads to contractile response. It is called extrasystole. The natural impulse is ineffective and expected contraction is missed and is called compensatory pause. Thank you so much. I hope you understood the concept of heart, and please study well, gain the knowledge, and don't do any rote learnings. Ratifications, rote learnings will not go anywhere. You need to understand the concept very deeply. Thank you so much. Stay safe, stay protected.